Alright, so my battery died when I was finishing up my first video. Tank, come here. Just a quick recap. Like I said, my bungee cords, these tarps, they're $1 at the Dollar Tree. They're 4 foot by 6 foot. I decided to try something. I don't know how well it's going to work. It's a little tedious and a little bit over the top, I think. But these little hangers that you get at the Dollar Tree for $1 a box, and even these little bowls with a top on them right here. Got 2 for $1. I got some other ones that are a little bit different style, but this is what I came up with. You know, it's got the keys, the eye holes on the tarp. So I took a couple pieces of the ends of the wire and I used it to wrap on the corners. I took and drilled a couple holes in the back of the cup, and I used one of the hangers and I tied it to the fence with a piece of wire. That'll be the wire cup. As you see, there's my bungee cord for the door, and there's a 4 foot piece of 2x4, half a 2x4 as the perch. Anyway, that's basically it. It's really not that hard. But while I was waiting for my battery to charge up, I went ahead and made one of my round pins, which is not completely finished yet, but I'll go over here and give you an example of what and why I'm doing it. Let's not forget Bug, our female German Shepherd, and Rex, our boy German Shepherd. I just locked them down for a little bit because they're getting on my nerves. Can't get nothing done with these guys, but you gotta love them. They're growing up so fast. As you see, my pins, this is a pair of Polish that I have. I made the pin pretty big because these are bigger birds. It's a round pin. I got a 2x4 going across the bottom, which gives it some strength and stability. I'll be putting a top on there today. But these are for my little bantams, which I've got. I must have 20 of them now, and I'm trying to build a bunch of these pins for them. But this little trio of my little grays, gray ducklings are not ducklings, dork wings or something. I don't even know. There's another little rooster I have and a hen. There's a black Japanese. That's a Seabright rooster. Another one of the pins right here. Just a little red Bantam rooster I got right here. It's another round pin. And this is my latest one. While I was waiting for my phone to charge, I built this one. What I did is took 7 foot of the wire as it rolled out. You take it and you have one end that's got the wires ends on them, like here and here, and you just wind it together all the way to where both ends meet pretty well. And you can cut a piece for the top and do the same thing. Just wind it around. And I always take a 2x4 and run it from the bottom, one side to the other. Like I said, it gives it strength. It gives it a lot of strength, and it's not as light, not as easy to topple over. Did the same thing with this one. And the 2x4s for the perches. Like I said, I'm working on getting some tops for these guys. And they didn't knock the water bowl over. But this is another little group of bantams I have. There's 2 roosters and 3 hens in here. This is one of my square pins. Just like my square pin here. My game fowl in it, and my other pair of game fowl. These are 4 foot squares. Cut a 4 foot square piece, 4 foot square. There's 5 of them all together because there's wire top. And like I said, I'm getting ready now to build one, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Just while I'm standing here, the latest edition. 40-cent guinea pigs at the auction the other day. We got 10 of them. We're going to raise some of them up. We're going to sell some of them. I haven't built their box yet for them to sleep in, but it's still warm out right now. Sometimes you get things well before you got the cages, and you got to work on it as you go along. And that's one of those deals. Tank, leave the guinea pigs alone. Tank's such a pain. Tank, speak. Tell them. That's right. Let's get back to what we're doing. Trying to get a lot of this done today so I can cut my grass. It's terrible around here. There's 5 4 foot panels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here's my square. What I'm going to do is lay them in there, staple them down. When I got all that done, then I'm going to take, some of them have got the ends, the wire cut ends that can wrap around for the corners, and the other ones that don't, I'll be using my wire crips, and we're going to get this done. Stay tuned. I will add before this gets too far, what I started doing was I was cutting all my 2x4s 48 inches. Well, what that did was, since these are 2x4 squares, when I started to lay my wire down on the short side, which would be this side here, because these others is the long side. When you're going up into it, that's the short side. You can make them 46 inches. You'll wind up having to cut 2 inches off of it either way you look at it. So 2 at 48, 2 at 46. That should be close enough. Let's move on. As you see, I've got 2 sides stapled already. I was putting all the wire together first, and I would lay the wire into the frame, and I would crawl up inside of it, and I was nailing to the side, trying to staple all these sides down. This is the first time I'm trying it. What I'm doing is just laying it down on the side like this, laying the wire down, stapling it all the way around, and when I stand it all up, then I've got this corner tied in. I will put all the corners together. So we'll see how that goes. Just a word of advice: 2 at 4 foot, 2 at 46 inches, maybe 45. That might not be your worst bet either. It kind of just saves a little bit of time. Okay, now I've got 4 pieces. Sometimes you might have to notch out a corner to get it laying there right. You know, it's all according to your size and how far you cut it. When you lay out your tape measure next to your wire, you don't always get a real 48. Sometimes you get a little bit too much, or it's better to go ahead and measure inside your lumber, whatever size your pin is going to be, because it could be any size. And the only difference is the wire's whatever height it is. In this case, is 4 foot. But length, you can do it any length you want. So now, like I said, I've got 2 corners tied up. This one here, this one here. These corners are all squared. There's no pieces left over to wrap here and here. So what I'm going to do is take my wire crimpers, this right here, my little wire crimping tool, and some crimps, and I'm going to attach the sides. And after I'm done with that, I got another piece to go on the top, which will square it up. So when I get done with that, I'll show you. Okay, I got all 4 corners put together. And as you can see, I used wire crimpers around 2/3 of it. Then I had the one end, it's got the cutoffs, which I will lay down through here and lap it around real good. Try to make it safe where it's not sticking out to sticking me or anybody else. That one doesn't look too good. That'll cinch that up. A lot of times you can tighten up your wire with your wire clips, and I'll probably show you how to do that because it's kind of loose in a couple places, and I like them to be a little bit tighter. It keeps them from shaking so much. Like a lot of times you attach the water bowls onto the wire, and when a bird, if it's a heavy bird like a game fowl, a gamecock or something, he jumps up on the perch and shakes the cage and shake the water out of it a lot. So we'll try to tighten that up, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and tie this top down by wrapping the wire around the edges right here, like I'm got right here to do. And then I'll show you how to tighten this wire up. Then I'll show you how to do the door, and we'll throw a perch on here. And other than the top, which I've got more tarps, it'll be just about done. Y'all hang on. Okay, so now there's a really good way to tighten your wire up. What you do is you take your wire clippers, which yours are pliers, whatever you want to call them. You can start on somewhere like this on the ends, and you twist it. Go down all the way down and twist them all like this. And as you can see, it's tightening up the wire. Sometimes one is enough, sometimes 2. It's really according to how loose it really is. This isn't too bad, so I'll probably just go down just one side and tighten them all down. That wasn't so bad, was it? I'll probably do it to every side. Let's go ahead and do it to every side. Makes them stout, makes them tough, makes them tight. Just makes them strong. What I like about these pins, they don't cost too much to make. And I used to raise game fowl, so I used to have well over 100 roosters, and I had pens like this one and all the ones I'm showing you. It's been a while since I built them. That's why I forgot a few of my little tips and tricks. But it's coming along just fine. I got 2 pair over there of American game fowl. I'm going to be trying to get in some more. I don't fight roosters anymore. Used to do it in Virginia all the time, and there was a lot of money in those birds. Not just the fighting part, there wasn't a whole lot of money unless you really won the big money in the derbies, you know, fighting amongst other people. A couple $100 here if you were lucky. But the bloodlines, I used to breed them for the bloodlines because I just love the birds. They're the best looking chickens on the earth, if you ask me. I mean, there's a lot of neat looking ones, Bantams and Cochins and Frizzles and Silkies, all kinds of different chickens that are good looking birds. I mean, for what they are. A lot of them I call sissy birds, which I have some, so I can't really say a lot, but I don't have many, and the ones I have are all for sale. Let's do 2 on this one. It just looks like it needs 2. They're all for sale, like everything I have, except for my game birds. It's all for sale. I'm just trying to sum this up for today. I've got a lot to do. Like I said, I've got a loft I've been working on over there for the last week or so, maybe a little bit longer. It's kind of hard to do all that stuff when you're all by yourself. And that'll be what I'm getting ready to get started on here now. I have a group of chickens. They're called Brahmas. They're Brahma Bantams. They're really good looking chickens that I'm going to stick in here for now. Getting ready to make a door. After I make the door, I'll throw a perch in here. I'll throw one of these tarps on top, and that'll basically be it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Look at that dog. There's Tank. I'll go ahead and do that real quick. Then I'll place it into place. I'll put the birds in it, and I'll show you how it turned out. You know what? Thanks for joining me today. It's a really beautiful Saturday, a little hazy. At least it's not raining for a change, and it's not too hot. I know it's sweating a little bit. Y'all stay tuned. Basically, the finished product. I probably will take a board, probably a stick or something I get out of the yard when I cut some stuff later, and run up underneath here to kind of give it some strength at an angle so the water will run off of it. But where I'm going to be tucking these is kind of up under some underbrush, so they'll have a lot of protection as it is. But as you see, old scrap 2x4 going across the top. The wire door, get that all put on there, and a bungee cord hold nice and strong, nice and tight. And for the tarp, instead of the wire, you know, I forgot I had a bunch of zip ties. So in other words, you know, like I said, the wire is the most expensive part. The 2x4 is a little bit over $3 a piece. You figure that's about $6.50. If you add into another one where I like ripped them down and split them in half, you're talking about $7. But for the wire, a 100-foot roll of wire, wherever my roll is, it's over there against the trash can, which I've been using to make these pins at Lowe's, is 69 bucks. That's pretty expensive, especially when it takes you 16 foot to make one of those, 17 foot to make one of these, and probably about 10 foot to make the little round ones that I was building for the Bantams. My only good part about this whole deal was that this wire, a lady on Craigslist was selling a 50-foot roll for $100 one day. And I said, wait, that seems kind of high. So I went on Lowe's and I seen the price of it, which was like 30-some bucks for the 50 roll. And it was only $69 for a 100-foot roll. And I needed some wire because I knew I was going to be doing this. Well, the same day I looked into it, Lowe's just happened to be having a sale on this rolls for 75% off. Yeah, right. So for probably about $34, $35, I believe it was, I bought 200-foot rolls altogether, $35. You cannot beat that. That's not the price for a half of a roll of half of one roll. Actually, it's $69. Oh, my dogs are barking at over there. But anyway, that's me today, getting these things done. I got a lot of birds I need to put up. If things look out of hand, it's only because I'm kind of busy right now. Everything is going to get tended to here just fine. Like I said, here's my dome. About 17 foot of wire. These Dollar Tree tarps, they'll hold out for a while, and when they go bad, it's only $1. You can't beat it. This roller here, this 16 foot, there's 5 4-foot sections. Like I said, sometimes you will have to notch them a little bit shorter, either at the corners or maybe just take a couple inches out, maybe 2 rows, maybe just 1. And then there's the round ones, which are pretty stable. Anyway, that's what I'm doing today. Now that I'm done with this, I'm gonna hold off on this other roll for a little while, and I'm gonna get on my loft. As you see, my birds, they're patiently waiting. They're like, Dad, we need a fly area. I haven't let them out since I started this, and that really sucks, so I like to let them fly. But I'm getting ready to lay out my rafters. Once the rafters are done, and I can start laying down the sheets on the ceiling or on the roof and getting that done. My siding gets up. It's gonna be nice, everybody. Anyway, Ham's Flight Kit Box, man, you're doing great. Don's Pigeons, I miss seeing your videos. Hail Flights, CNC Loft, On The Go Loft. Man, you name it. Peter Ramen, I need to see what your birds are doing. There's a lot of different ones, I just can't name them all right now. Anyway, when I get back to the birds, I'll try to remember some more of you guys. And I'll be using you as examples like I have been doing. Anyone that does chicken coops that needs to know how to do this stuff, if you have any questions, just contact me. It's been a little while since